September 24th, 2024. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Item number 3 on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Second.
A motion and second. Any additions, corrections, or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item number 4 on the agenda is the invitation for a citizen to schedule time on the commission agenda for an item not listed. There is a 5-minute time limit per person. Anyone wanting to speak during this agenda item must sign in prior to the start of the meeting. No commission action will be taken during this agenda item. Any requested action item may be scheduled for a future meeting. You have signed in. The first person would be Joe Short. Would you please come forward?
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Joseph Short. I live in Brookings County. I'm opposed to the pipeline coming here, not next week, not next year, never. First, know that I am praying for all of you. You are our representatives, and you are in that seat because we are calling you to be men and women of truth. And lies are being exposed. The darkness is being exposed. And we want you to do the right thing. There are many carrots being hung out for people to grab for more money. This didn't start yesterday. This has been going on for decades. The government continues to print fake money, and some people are vulnerable to continuing to grab, if you want to say, free money in our city, in our county, in our state, and in our nation. Unless you've been living under a rock the last 4 years, the craziness has been extreme. You have your job to do to change this and not grab all the free money. The CO2 corruption rushed through. We've been fighting it for years, but it was pushed through in a bill at the end of legislature to become law. Several people got a petition, and we needed 17,000, I think it was 17,000 petitions to get it on the fall ballot, which it is. We got 31,000, I think, to get it on. The danger that I see in this pipeline, it's a land grab. They're handing out money to farmers to say, hey, you can run your pipeline through here. We've seen enough land grab. I have family farms that have been taken away over the years through government, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the pipeline, the danger that I see, by the way, you're all invited to the meeting Thursday night at the old sanctuary to learn more about it. But the danger is the pipeline, as I understand it, will be 2,200 PSI, pounds per square inch. I've also been told that every pipe has the potential to leak. I live in Aurora. If they want to connect to that ethanol plant and we have a pipe leak, 2,200 pounds of CO2 coming out. If you think of a fire extinguisher, what's it do? It takes away all the oxygen. So if you have CO2 coming out at that kind of pressure, the ethanol plant's sitting right beside Aurora. Aurora doesn't have a chance. Brookings is only 3 miles away, depending on the direction of the wind. We may not have a chance here in Brookings. We could call 911, but unless Biden and corruption company come out with vehicles that can go out there, nobody can come out there because vehicles have to have oxygen to run on too. So nobody may be coming to help with the leak. So there's a, if you want to call it a kill zone, where that leak is.
Let me interrupt, Mr. Short. You have 1 minute to wrap it up.
Thank you. So from where that leak would be, there's a certain kill zone where that might go before they could get it turned off. So I just encourage you to be men and women of truth, men and women of light, to help expose the darkness. Many things are called economic development, and I find that to be a lie. My taxes went up like 38% recently in 1 year. That's crazy. I invite you not to sell your soul for money. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Next on the list is Terry Pritchard.
Good morning. As Larry said, my name's Terry Pritchard. I'm on the board of the Trenton Township, and I'm also on the Brookings County Association of Towns and Township Board. I've been involved in my local government for over 10 years. Our job is to help, aid, educate, and protect our communities where we live and work, which is all of your responsibilities that you were elected to. I was kind of excited. I think everybody brought this paper, came out, a week or two ago, where you are discussing the pipeline. So, of course, I read the article, and I was a little bit excited that Bob Hill said that we had pipeline ordinances that were written in 2009. Have you all read them? Have any of you read the ordinances? You have? Okay. So, a little tough to get through, isn't it? It's kind of up and down and a little complicated. When you read this, as Bob stated, he says there's 660 feet that he calls a setback. When you read this, the 660 feet, to me, you got a planning committee, you got this committee. What it is negotiations to build around an existing pipeline. To me, that's not a setback. It could possibly be used that way, but what's the most concerning is there's also potential impact radius. These are for gas, other pipelines, not CO2. The pipeline of CO2, we figured out the mathematics on this, and the CO2 line is not heat. Which these areas of danger of a leak are computed on. It is, when it comes out, it's minus 110 degrees. You're talking about dry ice, you're going to have dry ice snow. Crater of 40 feet in Mississippi. And Bob says you can't compare apples to oranges. We're looking at apples and apples. That's very discerning. 660 feet, if that holds up, is nothing. When you look at these computations of gas pipelines, the highest pressure goes up to 1,400. We're looking at up to 22 to 2,400 PSI. On a 6 or 8 inch, we don't know, pipe coming out of Aurora, on these computations with a different temperature of what's expressed is 203 feet. Now, what is also very concerning is, I'll go clear the back, there are a lot of things. But when Navigator was here, y'all said you've never had, because I asked Stacy, have you ever had meetings with pipeline corporations? And she said, no, they're not officially here. I don't know if you've done it individually, which should not have been done. But according to the planning zone, currently Brookings County is not aware of any hazardous liquid pipelines within its boundaries. The following actions would occur. And it goes through all the actions. Did these go into action when Navigator was here? They bought a lot of easements. You knew they were coming. They had a route. Were any of these questions addressed? How much liquid would be spilled? Where would this spill go? What locations would be impacted? Navigator contacted me as a Trenton Township Board member to work out a road use agreement. They would have had to ask the county too. They had passed county road 1 mile south of me. So I don't understand how you could say you've never had connection with any of the pipeline companies. We know Navigator is gone, but Summit's buying up those easements that Navigator had. So we're right back to square one.
Ms. Pritchard, you have 1 minute.
I invited Navigator agent that called me to come to our annual meeting, because it was, when he contacted me, it was right before our annual township meeting, and come and talk to the supervisors and us on a road use agreement, because it takes a lot of thought. And he didn't want to come there because there could be other people. He wanted a private meeting with supervisors, and I said, we can't do that. I said, the meeting's already been advertised, so it's not like you're going to be pinpointed. It'd been a perfect time to come, never showed, never talked to us again. Did the same thing with Aurora Township. And I'm saying that's Navigator, but you're in no better shape with Summit. And if you don't support a no on 21, I don't know why you want to be a commissioner, because it takes away your local control. It says in the back here on your pipeline ordinances, a collaborative effort by the pipeline operator and local government has to be done with the CO2 pipeline. You're not going to have that. You've got to speak now or forever hold your peace, because they're not going to negotiate. They already have a route. And you have to have a plume model or you can't determine the distances. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Janae White.
Hi, I'm Janae White. I was here at your last county commissioners meeting, so I live in Aurora. As a reminder, I live in Aurora, and I just wanted to follow up on a couple things. I want to thank the Brookings Register for calling attention to this and putting an article in the paper. I also want to, when I read the minutes, I did talk with Dan Nelson after the meeting. Dan may need to clarify a little bit, because we petitioned enough signatures we petitioned enough signatures to get this on the ballot in November. And so Dan may want to talk a little bit, because this law did not go into effect July 1st. So I didn't want to talk about that as much as I want to talk about a couple of the things that caused awareness to me. If I would have known you guys were going to talk about this, I would have stayed, but I had to get to work. So, but the thing I have talked with Summit 3 or 4 different times. I guess what concerns me is in this article it says here that that there has been no permit applications, and I'm trying to understand why, because I spoke with Summit. He told me that they do have a plan. They're going to be leaving Valero, going west, and then going south. Now, mind you, they had to change their route because of Moody County ordinances, which good for Moody County. They were proactive, and they had setbacks and ordinances in. So my question is, why have they not applied for a permit here? Because we already have a plan, or they already have a plan. So I'm trying to understand why they would not apply for a permit. I know that Bob said he has not heard from them. Why? This is a big deal for Brookings County. Whether you're for it or against it, why have we not heard from Summit? I think as a Brookings County and Aurora resident, if this is such a wonderful thing for Brookings County, why has Summit not been here? Why have they not been shouting it from the rooftops that this is such a wonderful thing for our county? I'm just asking you, I guess I'm asking you right now to make sure that you guys are doing your research on this pipeline, and again, being proactive. Because, again, I'm just asking another question. Won't it be too late to apply for ordinances? Won't it be too late if they apply for a permit? I'm thinking it would be too late to put in setback and ordinances. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Bob could address this, but that is some of my concerns. I like the fact that Moody County was proactive. I'm just hoping that you guys, again, as county commissioners, please do your research on this. I also asked Summit to come to our meeting.
Ms. White, you got 1 minute.
Okay, thank you. I asked them to come to our meeting this Thursday. He said he couldn't. He's sending a representative. I have asked him 3 different times to come to Aurora, and please give us an informational meeting. 3 different times I've asked him to come, and I did ask our mayor, Josh Jones, if he has heard from the Summit. We have not. This could be a huge deal for Aurora if this pipeline goes in. And if Brookings County is going to make so much money on this, supposedly so much money, why are you not coming and educating the public on this? So thank you so much for listening, and please do the right thing and please research. Thank you.
Nancy Stewart.
Good morning.
Morning.
I had a handout that I handed out, and can I show these on the screen? Oh, good. Here we go. My name is Nancy Stewart, and I have come today to present a commentary regarding the CO2 pipeline issue. I've given you an 8-page packet, so it'll be easier for you to follow along with me. Page 1. The first time I ever heard about carbon dioxide pipelines was when a friend sent me an article about a pipeline leak that happened in Mississippi. I included the opening of that article describing what happened during the mass poisoning event caused by that leak. I would like to point out that the gas is odorless and all of a sudden people can't breathe. Also, cars and rescue vehicles do not run because of the lack of oxygen. There was news about another leak in Louisiana. I thought this was terrible, but nothing to do with South Dakota. Page 2. Then I heard a company called Summit Carbon was trying to build a pipeline through eastern South Dakota, and that our legislature approved a way for them to accomplish that after their attempt to claim eminent domain failed. Page 3. I looked at a copy of SB 201, and in section 10, there are 2 references to liability for leaks and ruptures, which confirms that leaks and ruptures in the pipeline do occur. On page 4, I found a website which describes 3 of the many safety risks associated with the pipelines. First, CO2 is an asphyxiant that's heavier than air, and it can travel large distances. 2, CO2 pipelines are susceptible to ductile fractures, which, like a zipper, open up and down a significant length of the pipe. 3, water, notoriously difficult to eliminate from CO2 pipelines, allows the formation of carbonic acid in the pipeline, which has a ferocious appetite for carbon steel. There are many other ways a leak may occur, whether by accident or on purpose. This is a map I found online of the proposed carbon capture pipelines. It looks mostly like flyover country, doesn't it? I overlaid the pipeline map over a map of South Dakota, and now we can clearly see that there are many areas of population that lie along the pipeline route. This is what the CO2 pipeline kill zone looks like according to this website. The dark brown color that is described as 20% instantaneous death goes to about 3/4 miles from the break. I listed the distance in miles on the map that coincide with the colors. The purple one on the farthest one is 7.8 miles for hazardous to human health, and I'm sure animals don't fare any better. And on this last map, I applied the concentration zones to our local area. Unfortunately, my house lies within the green zone, and Brookings is in the purple zone. I have also heard that the CO2 pipeline kill zone is 4.5 miles and up to 9 miles on a cold day, and we have plenty of cold days. I feel that our legislature and governor have sold us out and exchanged our safety for the promise of someone getting a lot of money for a commodity that is of no benefit to the citizens of South Dakota. I am voting no on Referred Law 21 ballot measure, and I hope you will too. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Melissa Elijah.
I've got a few handouts. Do you mind if I give you each one of those?
It's fine.
Not necessarily that you need to look through these right now, but just the information that I'm referencing. Go quickly here. My name is Melissa Elijah, and I do live in Brookings County. I'm wondering how many of you have spent dedicated time to learn about Summit Carbon Solutions and their proposed pipeline that will affect all of South Dakota and part of Brookings County. Have all of you paid attention to know what's going on? Each of you was elected to represent us, the citizens of Brookings County, and make the best decision to protect us and be our voice with serious issues that approach our county. I encourage every one of you to pay attention to the CO2 pipeline issue. So far, it's flown under the radar, and right now it's important that everybody start paying attention to the effects that it can have on not only South Dakota or Brookings County or our nation as a whole. Today, the documents that I'm sharing with you, the first document is a flyer. It's an event that we're putting on this Thursday evening at the Old Sanctuary at 6:30 p.m. I encourage every one of you to be there. It's an event where we've had multiple events throughout the state of South Dakota, and we have tried numerous times to get actual proponent, summit, navigator, ethanol plant CEO or board members, the folks that are pushing the CO2 agenda on us, to come to these meetings and tell us why it is so good for our communities, and nobody will respond. They go silent, it's crickets. This Thursday evening, Roger Chase, a representative who was supporting the bill this legislative session, will be there as a proponent of the pipeline. Trent Luce will represent the opponent's portion of the event. Tim Kenyon, who's a geologist, will be there to give you factual information, and Doyle Turner, who is an economist, will also be there. It is firsthand information that the public will get to help them make a decision of how they're going to vote in November on Referred Law 21, which started as Senate Bill 201. The next piece of information in that packet of information I provided to you is a letter from PHMSA, which is the Pipeline and Hazardous Safety Materials Safety Administration. It's a letter written to Summit Carbon Solutions CEO Lee Blank, letting him know the oversight responsibilities of PHMSA and the responsibilities of local authorities such as yourselves, municipalities, and townships. PHMSA states that you, county commissioners, do have the ability to determine ordinances and setbacks. PHMSA does not determine this, contrary to what Summit Carbon Solutions, your emergency management director, and certain legislators are telling you. The next document is Senate Bill 201, which is again referred Law 21 on your election ballot in November. That 8-page bill covers multiple subjects, which Dan Nelson should be able to tell you is against our South Dakota Constitution. The 15 so-called rights and protections that are labeled in this Landowner Bill of Rights were written in, and they are all protections that are included to us in our constitutional rights as citizens of South Dakota. Or they are rights that landowners will negotiate directly with Summit Carbon Solutions should they choose to enter into an easement.
You have 1 minute.
Senate Bill 201 should have been labeled the Landowner Bill of Sale. The last document is a copy of 2 emails sent by Senator Lee Schoenbeck back in 2022 as part of the South Dakota PUC docket Summit Carbon Solutions permit application. In the emails, you can see that Lee Schoenbeck, who has been vocal proponent of the CO2 pipelines, is basically using bullying tactics to convince Glacial Lakes Ethanol to move the pipeline for a development he is part of. Lee is also one of the senators who aggressively pushed Senate Bill 201 through our legislature this year. The pipeline wasn't good enough to go on Lee's land, but yet he wants the rest of South Dakota to roll out the welcome mat for this dangerous pipeline and Summit Carbon Solutions. If you county commissioners are willing to sit idly for this one out-of-state, privately owned foreign-backed company to run over our property rights and local control, why are you here? Why are you not protecting the citizens of Brookings County? I urge you as a commission to pass a resolution opposing referred Law 21, which will be on the November election ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. We do have one more, Sharon Larson, but we do have a scheduled 9 o'clock public agenda item. I don't know how brief. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
A lot of my notes are just things that I wrote down off the top of my head after reading a couple of times the article in the Brookings Register. One thing that jumped out at me, and most of this has already been addressed, but as a citizen, I feel it's things that other people would be taking note of too, and taking wrong information. Dan Nelson had said that SB 201 went into effect July 1st. It did not. And I was a circulator of the petition. In 90 days, our circulators got 34,000 signatures against the bill. 92% validity rate on those, which was unprecedented, and we did it in 90 days. People don't want this pipeline. They don't want this bill. This bill does not only affect this pipeline, it affects the future of the whole state of South Dakota and what other companies can come in, other projects. One of the people that was involved in the bill said that this bill has to go through. We have 50 years worth of projects coming up. That should terrify everybody that is a landowner, that is a citizen, that is a resident of this county and of the state of South Dakota. And the other thing that was really hit on was this bill takes control away from you. You no longer have control over what happens in this county regarding pipelines. And it's not just this pipeline, it's regarding wind farms, solar farms, and any other entity that comes in, transmission lines with easements. I'm going to move on to apples to oranges regarding the break in Mississippi and how it was different than what could happen here. Flooding was a major issue in that break in Mississippi. The ground moved. There was so much flooding. We have flooding here too. Near Sioux City, the flooding that we had this spring, if we have some kind of flooding here, that could affect the pipelines. The scientist who spoke in the Madison meeting said it wasn't if there would be a break, but when. I can't remember his name. I believe he is a gentleman that is speaking Thursday night. And he had so much information, and it was unbiased information. And so I do encourage you to come to the meeting Thursday night.
Larson, I'm going to have to cut you off. We have a scheduled 9 o'clock.
Okay.
You'll have a couple minutes to wrap up after our public hearing.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds good.
I'll call
Thank
you back up then.
All right, great. Thank you.
We'll move on to item number 7, which is a scheduled agenda item. It's a public hearing and action to approve the Highway, Road, and Bridge 5-year plan. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move approval. Second.
I have a motion and a second. I'll now open the public hearing. Is there any opponents that would like to speak to this? Is there any opponents that would like to speak? Is there any proponents that would like to speak? Any proponents that would like to speak? Any comments from the board? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Vanderwall.
Aye.
Bartley.
Aye.
Krogman.
Aye.
Hostler.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B is a public hearing and approval of 2025 annual budget. Do I have action to approve amendments to the 2025 provisional budget?
And this is a public hearing as well.
What's that?
And this is a public hearing as well.
Right. I'd like to open the public hearing. Any proponents to this item? Is there any proponents to this item? Any opponents? Any opponents? Hearing none, I'd like to close the public hearing. Any comments from the board?
We did not get a motion.
We don't have a motion, so I'd like to make a motion to approve the amendments for fiscal year 2025 provisional budget.
I'll second.
Commissioner Bartley made a motion, Commissioner Hostler seconded it. Any more discussion?
What's in front of you are the changes that need to be read into the minutes. So for the general fund, we had a tax amount change to utilities in the amount of $11,292. We're offsetting that by reducing miscellaneous revenue by that same amount, so a net change of $0. And then in the 301, the building fund, again, a tax amount change due to utilities, centrally assessed utilities for $290. And again, that's offset with miscellaneous revenue for $290 for a net change of $0. But what that did do was increase slightly the levy from the provisional budget, and you can see down in this last area where each amount changed a little bit, went up by 0.431 cents. So the levy for the budget for next year, $3.928.
Okay.
And just as a comparison, that is still down. I think I have the levy trends. So we're at 4.004, so that still is going down slightly from this year.
Alrighty, any other comments? I'd just like to thank all the staff for the hard work they put into this. It went extremely well, I thought. It's fortunate that we have the growth we have and valuations have continued to rise to make this process a lot easier for us. Without any more comments, call the roll, please.
Bartley?
Aye.
Krogman?
Aye.
Hassler?
Aye.
Vanderwall?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 2, action approved resolution number 24-37, adoption of the for the year 2025 annual budget for Brookings County, South Dakota. Do I motion approve?
So move. Second.
A motion second. Comments? Hearing none, call the roll.
Krogman?
Aye.
Hassler?
Aye.
Vanderwall?
Aye.
Bartley?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, back to invitation for citizens. Ms. Larson, would you like to wrap up your presentation?
Thank you. How much time do I have left?
About 2 minutes.
Okay. Getting back to the apples to oranges, one of the things that is different about the CO2 pipeline is that with a gas pipeline or a petroleum pipeline, natural gas and petroleum is you have natural gas, an explosion. It's got a limited area depending on the explosion. You have a leak, you have seepage into the ground. With a CO2 pipeline, when there's a rupture, it can rupture like a zipper, and there's no control over how big of an opening you're gonna get. And how that CO2 comes out is dependent on a lot of things in your atmosphere. You've got wind, you've got humidity, you've got temperature. Cold is a big factor in how that comes out. And you've got a kill zone. And that is what they call a kill zone. All oxygen is suffocated out of the air. You do not have emergency vehicles that can get to where they need to go because they run on gas combustion. So the oxygen is gone. Your first responders, if they can get there, need special equipment. So then we move to our fire departments and our first responders. Are they equipped with training and finances to get the resources that they need? And this is every single fire department that is going to be along that pipeline, along that route. The easements are not enough. The county commission does need to really address this and be proactive on this. Summit, as a pipeline company, has never built a pipeline as its own corporation. They're collecting all the money, they're getting the easements, but they have never built a pipeline. Do we want someone who's never built a pipeline? Yes, I'm sure it's all a conglomeration of people that are educated and resourced out, but they've never built a pipeline. Do we want that coming through our county? And I can see my time is probably close to up. I would really encourage all of you to do the research. Come to the meeting Thursday night. It's not just a bash summit meeting. There are proponents and opponents. And the geologist will be a wealth of information one way or the other for whatever you guys decide. But I would also encourage the commission to pass a resolution to oppose Referred Law 21, which the people of South Dakota have worked so hard to get on the ballot in November. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 5 is consent agenda items, which includes minutes, travel education, personal action notices, cellular authorizations, human services report. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
I have motion and second. Any additions, corrections? Any comments? Call the roll, please.
Hostler.
Aye.
Vanderwall.
Aye.
Bartley.
Aye.
Krogman.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item number 6, routine business, approval of the claims. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments?
We did have one change. I handed that out this morning. It's a change to the GL line. The dollar amount was the same, moving an expense out of the state's attorney's budget into the 766 fund, which is the law library fund.
Okay. Any other questions? Call the roll, please.
Vanderwall.
Aye.
Bartley.
Aye.
Krogman.
Aye.
Hostler.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B is department head reports. Start with the County Development Department.
Good morning.
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 I sent out a staff report, some of the key things. Richard Hagen did get his Certified Emergency Manager Basic Award at the South Dakota Emergency Management Association Conference. I attended the South Dakota Association of County Commissioners Annual Conference with several members here. Last night, we had the United Way's Brookings Family Bash. The Office of Emergency Management sent over their big Tommy the Turtle animal, and it was a very good event. October 28th, we are having a flu shot clinic we will be administering 500 flu shots, up to 500. We'll run out at 500, and that will be offered to people 18 years and older, and we'll be getting the press releases out on that very shortly. I submitted the Department of Health grant on Friday, which you guys allowed me to do a couple weeks ago. And this afternoon, I've got an emergency management briefing at the new Peaceful Pines Senior Living. I'll be addressing their staff on emergency management operations. Any questions?
Any questions, Bob? Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Brian from the Highway Department.
Morning.
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 The two local federal grants that we got, they're kind of getting wrapped up here. Hopefully indication on the 06210-098 located on 475th Avenue, 2.3 south and 3 west of White should be getting wrapped up here this week, and then the county will put gravel over that, and that'll be open back up. 08MJ, located on 200th Street, 3.5 miles north of White and 3.5 north and 4.7 east of White. Asphalt's got to be laid on that, and that'll be wrapped up hopefully by the end of next week. Another structure that the county crews are going to be working on is on County Road 38, 2.5 north and 3.0 west of White. We're going to be opening that up next week. Should have it opened up by the end of the week, and then asphalt will be placed afterwards. Should go pretty quick on them without much effect for harvest. Little update on our chip seal fog routes. We've completed 26 and 18A around town here and over by Aurora. And up by Bruce, we're going to be finishing that up tomorrow. County Road 29, if you guys have been up there the last few weeks, we've been adding shoulder material. That's up near Lake Hendricks. Aurora Water and Sewer Project, I'm sure everybody noticed that County Road 23 was opened on 9/13 once the concrete attained strength. And White and Water Sewer Project, they're plugging along up there. I'm hoping to have both of those intersections opened up here within the next few weeks, depending on if we do get any rain or not. And lastly, from a bridge inspection that was started yesterday, I've attached the report that Banner needs to file with the state. We did have to close a bridge down, be just outside of Volga, just off on 210th, about a quarter mile to the west of 466th Avenue. I've attached pictures there. Before we can go any farther, the engineer needs to make a determination on load rating analysis, but it was suggested to be immediately closed yesterday, so that was done. I did notify the emergency management, and we did have it posted on our website, but once I am privy to the information that the engineer comes up with, I will let you guys know if we can open that up or it needs to remain closed down. If it does need to remain closed down, we're probably going to take some measures to make sure that nobody can get around the barricades. And just so the public does know, if you do move the barricades, speaking with the sheriff, he can impose a fine of up to $500. And if you so happen to go over that bridge and the bridge does collapse, the individual would be responsible for the replacement of that structure or paying for that. So there is a pretty healthy fine if barricades are moved and they are avoided. So just so the public knows.
Is there any possibility of repairing the two items that are?
That's a determination that the engineer will make, and if work can be done to open that back up, it will be, but this structure was built in the 19 teens somewhere. There's not a definitive date of when this was built. It's over 100 years old. So the steel back then is different than what we have now, and that'll be a determination the engineer will have to make if those repairs can be made and we can open it back up. But I will bring suggestions from the engineer as I get them to you guys.
Any questions?
Brian, just to reiterate, this is on a township road, correct?
This is on a township road, 210th Street, and part of it is in Brookings Township, and part of it is in Volga Township, and the Volga side is minimum maintenance. So it is on a minimum maintenance road. It should have little effect on traffic, but there again, if that road is traversed and the signs are moved, that bridge is over 20 feet from the undercopings as it crosses the Sioux River, so it is considered by the state a county structure.
Yeah. Any other questions? Thank you for the report.
Thanks.
Sheriff Stanwyck?
Good morning.
Morning.
Quick jail overview. At the present time, we have 44 inmates in there. 21 of them are Brookings County inmates, and the remainder are from other agencies. The average for the year is 53.2 inmates daily is the average. I got to commend my staff on weekends. There's usually about Friday, Saturday, usually about Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we get a lot of intakes. But a lot of them are released right away too. They're alcohol offenses, DWI, first offense, so forth. So a lot of them are that they can PR out. But the staff stays busy. They did have a checkpoint on Friday night, I believe it was. Staff stays busy. 24/7 is down some. To 121 participants. There's 49 that come in twice a day. I have 9 on remote breath test, 11 on scram, 42 UAs. Drug court is 8. Hope court is 1. DOI court is 11. GPS, we have 10 that are tracking on GPS. I'm sure that 21 will probably be going back up because we've had a lot of alcohol offenses, and I'm sure that number will come up. The civil process stays busy, and right now the whole department serves civil process. So when the deputies go out, they take a handful of papers and serve. And then so just to show you how many civil papers, we have collected $94,712 in service fees for serving civil papers. Civil papers have increased monthly. And I think we did talk lately about it a while back. I think COVID, there was COVID money out there, and that money now isn't, and some of that stuff is now appearing that individuals unable to pay their bills and so forth. So that area stays busy. The guys have been busy the last 3 weeks since we met before. We had a silo accident, and two construction workers died on that, and my investigators are working with OSHA and on that. And I think Commissioner Vanderwall, you were at the scene, I believe. I think he's the first voice I heard on the radio. I think you must have been one of the first on the scene. Everybody, that was probably a tough one just because they were up in the silo and getting them out of there and so forth. So we continue to get traffic complaints. It's that time of the year now where, the silage trucks and get complaints of, and I don't want to pick on silage trucks and that, but that's usually the ones we get complaints on, running stop signs and those. It seems like during harvest, stop signs become void, and that's just something we have to continue to have some active patrol out there. But I can't get everywhere, but we're trying to do the best we can in that. Now, last Thursday night, and it was in the paper today, I was invited to come to this. It was it was South Dakotans impacted by incarceration. Naima is Elkton residents, and she's a good supporter of the sheriff's office and so forth too. So, well, anyway, she invited me, and I was on a panel. I can't take much credit for being on the panel because a lot of the concerns were towards the penitentiary and incarcerated people in the penitentiary. So just by my being there, I got educated a lot from families in there, and there was some legislatures there, and there was one legislature on the panel, which was good. And it definitely that in future they need to have some type of oversight or whatever to see what's going on in the penitentiary. But again, I didn't contribute a lot just because it affected more the penitentiary and their policies, and they've been on lockdown for a period of time, 23-hour lockdown and so forth. But I did attend that, and so that was interesting. And Naima also she's going to be the president of the Sioux Falls chapter of the NAACP, and that's a National Association for Advancement of Colored People. So she's taken on those roles too. So anyway, that's, if you have any questions.
Any questions, Sheriff?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Scott from the Outdoor Adventure Center.
Morning.
Morning.
Don't have a lot today, but I will update you on the attendance for September as of Sunday, the 22nd. There's been 441 people for events, 58 in the archery range, and 145 in the gun range. Attendance is right now tracking to beat the 2023 attendance, so that's good news. Things we've been working on out there, we have had some HVAC issues. The heat exchanger went out on the concourse unit. There's a humidity sensor that sent me 57 alarms this weekend, so hopefully we get that fixed here this week. We're supposed to, so not critical, but just need to get it fixed. The carpet will go in tomorrow in the 4-H offices. Are busy moving stuff out of there this afternoon, and then carpet will get installed there. And as far as the fall, it's starting to ramp up. The GF&P interns are back, and their programming has started. They did a waterfowl ID class earlier in September, and now just about every other week they're doing the free archery night. That started last week. JOAD started their fall season September 16th. So that was very well attended. A lot of people came out. Our Fall Gun League will start on October 28th, and we'll be pushing some ads out for that. And we also, September 14th, had the first actual roller derby event, an actual bout, and about 167 people came to that, and everybody really liked the facility and had a lot of fun, so hopefully we're able to fit them in again. So that was really, really fun. So that is about all I have. And then later on, I'm here for the GF&P grant got approved, so got that too.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Any questions, Scott? Thank you.
Thank you.
Lori with Finance Office.
Good morning.
Morning.
This morning, I had Commissioner Jensen and myself, we signed a letter of understanding from the state legislative audit so they could begin the audit, which they have begun, but we needed it official, so we both signed that this morning. Letting the public know there is a scam letter going out. Actually, one of our buildings got a scam letter saying that it was going to be seized for unpaid taxes, which of course was not correct. Anybody who has unpaid taxes in Brookings County, I have been in contact probably more than they'd like. We're really aggressive in Brookings County with our unpaid taxes, so if they are to get a letter in the mail, they can know it's unpaid or a scam, because otherwise they would have been talking to me already. Brookings County has been really good with unpaid taxes. To date, for back years, we have 7 properties that are unpaid, and no other county can say that. However, we did have the law change this past summer where now if you come in and buy the tax certificates, after you buy the 3 years, you have to auction that property off when you take tax deed within a year. The companies that have been paying on the back taxes are not paying now. So we're going to have to start all over with all of those properties with new certificates this year that'll be in the county's name. Starting next year, there will be 2 properties that the county's going to have to decide if we want to auction, what we're going to do with that because of the law change. I know we discussed out at conference changes that need to be made to this because there are some liens that the property owner has that also get dismissed at this time. So they're kind of worried that this will be a way for people to build up liens and then get them erased. Their property gets sold, they get the money from the sale. So it's kind of it's got to be cleaned up. So just letting you know that scam letters out there, if you get one, unless you've heard from me before, you can disregard it. Elections, we have had 157 people vote so far. We've sent out 357 ballots that have been requested by mail. They do cost quite a bit to mail, $5 a shot, $20 for overseas. So personally, as a taxpayer, I kind of encourage you to come in and pay in person. Saves the county some money. Voter registration deadline for this election is October 21st. And I guess the only other thing to tell you is I did get each of the stations up front in our office a teller intercom system, so it's easier to hear through that glass. It's been working really good. It was not very expensive, under $200 for all four, so that's been, I think, an improvement. And I think that's all I got.
Any questions for Rory? Thank you. Also with the financiers report, we have some be it noted items. Auditor's account with the treasurer, payroll and additive totals, highway expenditure report, register of deeds, statement of fees collection. Item number 2 is an action to approve third quarter transfers as per budget appropriations. Item A is General Fund 101-4-911-4294 to Highway and Bridge Fund 201-3-371-000 in the amount of $771,250. And B is from General Fund 101-4-911-4290 to Emergency Management Fund 226-3-371-0000 in the amount of $33,493. Do we need a motion on that?
Yes.
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve both of those budget transfers.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Any comments? Hearing none, call roll, please.
Bartley?
Aye.
Krogman?
Aye.
Hostler?
Aye.
Vanderwall?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, moving on to regular business is an action to approve an executive proclamation recognizing Brookings County as a Purple Heart County. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments?
Matt, do you want to make any comments? No? I know our Veteran Service Officer is here.
The Purple Heart thing's not exactly my wheelhouse. I'm not a Purple Heart recipient myself, but I mean, it's a ceremonial thing. It's just cool. You know, you get signs that say you're a Purple Heart County, and it just shows veterans and the public in general that you support your veterans and what they stand for, and you know, the sacrifices they made. So it's really cool. It's really cool. It's been a popular thing. We were out in Aurora. Aurora did this. You know, the city of Brookings did it last spring. So cool to get the county on board. While I'm here, I just wanted to talk about, we're playing with a new tracking system for our veteran service officer numbers. I just felt like we could be more accurate and explain a little better, you know, the impact that we're having on our veterans in our community. So we're kind of in the infancy of this program we're using, and we had a little help from our colleagues in Coddington County. They shared a system that's working really well for them, and I'm kind of tinkering with it and making it work for us as well. And I've just plugged in the claims that we've had pending that have been decided so far in the month of September, and we're tracking 7 claims that have returned for like a month-to-month increase in new money for these veterans of $11,683.63, with a retroactive payment while their claim was pending, the back pay of $74,935.56. This is 7 claims we've had back this month. And another thing that's important to say is that this is like at least, these numbers are definitely larger than what I just reported, because what happens is the VA makes their decision, then it's on our state office in Sioux Falls to report back to us that these claims have been decided and give us the dollar numbers and things like that. And there's really no other way currently to track those numbers. So if, you know, they're not getting, if they're not on top of it and letting us know right away, these claims have been decided, we don't know unless that veteran contacts us. There's just no way for us to track that currently. So whatever, and I want to report these things, you know, month to month. I'll get them to Stacy and she can present them however, and you know, I'm always available if there's any further questions. But just know, you know, that $11,683.68, that's at least what's been decided this month. So very likely those numbers are much higher. So that's kind of what we got going on. I just wanted to mention that. I'm kind of proud of it. So that's all I have. Thanks for being supportive. Appreciate it.
Any other comments? Oh, yeah.
Can I stand? I'll sit. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Tom Henley. I'm with the American Legion, Post 230 out of Aurora. I'm the adjutant for that post. So the Purple Heart, presently there are 10 counties in the state that are designated now as Purple Heart counties. Brookings County would be number 11. Most of the cities, towns in Brookings County are now Purple Heart County, cities, towns. Either they are Purple Hearts or they are in the process of getting them approved. This would be a step I think would be great. As Matt alluded to, you will be getting signs from the Military Order of the Purple Heart that would designate, go out onto where the county signs, Brookings County signs are, that would go underneath there designating Brookings County as a Purple Heart County. If you have any questions,
Any questions? No? Thank you.
Thank you.
I just say I was contacted a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was a worthwhile to bring it forward, and I want to bring it forward to the full commission. So, without any more comments, we'll call the roll, please.
Krogman?
Aye.
Hassler?
Aye.
Vanderwall?
Aye.
Bartley?
Absolutely aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B, action approve resolution number 24-38, a resolution to continue support for the First District Association of Local Governments during fiscal year 2025. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments? Any comments from the board?
This resolution and the fees associated with it are included in the 2025 budget.
Okay. No more comments? Call the roll, please.
Hassler?
Aye.
Vanderwall?
Aye.
Bartley?
Aye.
Krogman?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item C is action approve resolution number 24-39, a plat of Schlimmer addition in the north half of section 22, township 110 north, range 51 west of the 5th prime meridian and the city of Volga, Brookings County, South Dakota. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments?
This was reviewed by the Planning Commission and approved and sent to this board on September 3rd, our regular planning meeting.
Any questions? Hearing none, call a roll, please.
Vanderwall?
Aye.
Bartley?
Aye.
Krogman?
Aye.
Hassler?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item D, action approve resolution number 24-40, a plat of blocks 1, 2, and 3, Red Barn Addition located in the south half of the southwestern quarter of section 16, township 110 north, range 50 west of the 5th prime meridian, Brookings County, South Dakota. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Comments?
Once again, approved at our September 3rd meeting, sent to this board with a recommendation that you approve it.
Okay, any questions? Hearing none, call roll.
Bartley?
Aye.
Krogman?
Aye.
Hassler?
Aye.
Vanderwall?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item E is action approve resolution number 24-41, a plat of Lot 1 of Preston Wetland Addition in the east half of Section 17, Township 112 North, Range 51 West of the 5th Prime Meridian, Brookings County, South Dakota. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion and second. Comments?
Approved on September 3rd, sent to this board with the recommendation that you approve it.
Okay, any questions, comments? Hearing none, call a roll, please.
Krogman?
Aye.
Hassler?
Aye.
Vanderwall?
Aye.
Bartley?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item F is action to approve resolution number 24-42, a plat of lots 1, 2, and 3 of Lynn, second edition in the southeast quarter of Section 9, Township 109 North, Range 47 West of the 5th Prime Meridian, Brookings County, South Dakota. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments?
Heard by the Planning Commission September 3rd, approved unanimously and sent to this board with the recommendation you approve it.
Okay, any other comments? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Hassler?
Aye.
Vanderwall?
Aye.
Bartley?
Aye.
Krogman?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item G, action to approve agreement number 24-77, a State of South Dakota Agreement, Department of Game, Fish, and Parks between the Brookings County Outdoor Adventure Center and GF&P Wildlife Division. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments? I believe this is a grant we receive.
Yeah, we've received the last couple of years. It's a 75-25 grant, and it would be for the dynamic filters for the range, and then 2 key card accesses for the new GF&P offices that were just, I think, finished late last year, early this year, is what that's for. So.
Okay. Any other comments? Hearing none, call a roll.
Vanderwall?
Aye.
Bartley?
Aye.
Krogman?
Aye.
Hassler?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item H, action to approve agreement number 24-78, a public use agreement between the Brookings County Outdoor Adventure Center and South Dakota Game, Fish, and Parks. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Comments?
I don't know if there's any questions, but yeah, basically just saying that we'll keep it open for public use, for getting these funds, publishing when we're open, when we're closed, when we're not, and being available to the public.
You're talking gun range, right?
Sorry?
Gun range?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Call the roll, please.
Bartley?
Aye.
Krogman?
Aye.
Hassler?
Aye.
Vanderwall?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item I, action to approve agreement number 24-79, a pictometry purchase agreement with Brookings Municipal Utilities. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion and second. Comments?
These are the, I believe they're 3-year agreements for a pictometry flyover. I know IT Administrator Sean Plumman provided a staff report on this. Kind of one thing to note, one change, is that it used to be split 4 ways with the county, the city, BMU, and then E911. But in reviewing that, E911 is funded by the city and the county. And so we kind of felt like we're just sort of double dipping in a way, because we're budgeting the E911 budget for this expense. Both city and county were doing that. We're already paying for the contract, so now we're just splitting it 3 ways. So this is for, the next flyovers.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, call the roll.
Krogman?
Aye.
Hassler?
Aye.
Vanderwall?
Aye.
Bartley?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item J is action to approve agreement number 24-80, a pictometry purchase agreement with the city of Brookings. I have motion approved.
So moved. Second.
I have motion and second. It's along same explanation as Stacy just gave. Any other comments? Call the roll, please.
Hassler?
Aye.
Vanderwall?
Aye.
Bartley?
Aye.
Krogman?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item K is action to approve agreement number 24-81, a State of South Dakota Department of Transportation Joint Powers Bridge Improvement Grant Agreement for preliminary engineering, State Administration, PCN 09XJ. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Any comments?
As Chairperson Jensen made it aware, this is for a preliminary engineering grant that was awarded by the state of South Dakota on 8/29 for these next 4 structures. And as you guys all know, this is just the first stepping stone for looking down the road for replacement.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, call the roll.
Vanderwall.
Aye.
Bartley.
Aye.
Krogman.
Aye.
Hassler.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item L, action to approve agreement number 24-82, a State of South Dakota Department of Transportation Joint Powers Bridge Improvement Grant Agreement for preliminary engineering, State Administration, PCN 09XK. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. Any other comments? Call the roll.
Bartley.
Aye.
Krogman.
Aye.
Hassler.
Aye.
Vanderwall.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item M, action to approve agreement number 24-83, a State of South Dakota Department of Transportation Joint Powers Bridge Improvement Grant Agreement from preliminary engineering, the State Administration, PCN 09XL. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move approval. Second.
A motion is second. Any other comments? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Krogman.
Aye.
Hassler.
Aye.
Vanderwall.
Aye.
Bartley.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item N, action to approve agreement number 24-84, a State of South Dakota Department of Transportation Joint Powers Bridge Improvement Grant Agreement for preliminary engineering, State Administration, PCN 09XM. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve. Second.
A motion is second. Any further comments? Hearing none, call the roll.
Hassler.
Aye.
Vanderwall.
Aye.
Bartley.
Aye.
Krogman.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item O, action to approve agreement number 24-85, a right-of-way certificate for bridge improvement grant project PCN 08XO. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Comments?
This will be a structure that we'll be looking at replacing next year. This is just the required documentation that we've acquired the right-of-way, and then the following one will be here for the utility certificates. They've been contacted.
Okay. Any questions? What's location of this?
Looking, Larry, I'm sorry. I believe this is the structure on County Road 35 north of Elkton.
Okay. Any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item P, action to approve agreement number 24-86, a utility certificate for bridge improvement grant project PCN 08XO. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. Any comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item Q is an action to approve agreement number 24-87, an application for occupancy right-of-way of county highways made by H&D Electric Cooperative Incorporated in Lake Hendricks Township. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments?
Underground installation to a farm place.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item R, action to approve agreement number 24-88, an application for occupancy of the right-of-way of county highway made by H&D Electric Cooperative Incorporated in Lake Hendricks Township. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
A motion and second, and comments?
Same thing, just 200 feet south.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item S is action to approve change order number 1 and final pricing for the 2024 Brookings County surfacing project. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move approval. Second.
A motion second. Any comments here?
The addition here was the additional asphalt that was placed around the south structure on County Road 19. We did not have that encompassed in the original project, so we need to change order that in to encompass that guardrail.
Okay. Any other questions? Call the roll, please.
Vanderwall,
Aye.
Bartley.
Aye.
Krogman.
Aye.
Hostler.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item T is action to approve and authorize Chairperson Jensen to sign a CDBG payment request for the Brookings Behavioral Health and Wellness Project. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Comments?
This is actually just adjusting a payment that was previously approved. Found out we can only ask for a certain percentage of the construction costs, which with each of the pay requests, so that lowered that amount. This CDBG grant is, again, through the county on behalf of Brookings Behavioral Health, so that's why you're seeing these documents and that we need, or the commission chair needs to sign off on them.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Bartley.
Aye.
Krogman.
Aye.
Hostler.
Aye.
Vanderwall.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item number U, action to approve request from the Fire Department Long-Term Fund for $59,676 to the White Fire Department for a 2024 Ford F-550 Chassis XL. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. Any comments?
These requests that come from that long-term fund are submitted through the association, so they're aware of it, and then they come before you as a separate ask, usually, so you see that the departments are using those long-term funds.
Okay. Any other questions? Call the roll, please.
Krogman.
Aye.
Hostler.
Aye.
Vanderwall.
Aye.
Bartley.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item V is action to approve a request to fill vacancy for a full-time correctional officer in the detention center. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item W, action to approve a request to fill vacancy for a part-time female correctional officer in the detention center. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item X, action to approve a request to fill vacancy for a temporary election worker in the finance office. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 9, Commission Department Directors Report.
The August Veterans Service Officer numbers were included with my report. 160 veterans assisted, 4 outreach events, 5 DAV van rides, and 7 beta rides in August. We did have the general fund surplus. It's 40% at month end for August. That's well above our 10-year average of 23%. Again, we watch that for any possible fund balance designations assignments at year end. The draft of the 2025 calendar was included with my report. I want to have you take a look at that. The first and third Tuesdays actually play out pretty well throughout the year. The only one I would question is May. In May, the second meeting would be the 20th, and Pennington County is actually hosting the NACO WEIR Western Interstate Region Conference this year. It's a NACO national conference being held in Rapid City. So if we have commissioners that plan to attend that, I would say we maybe adjust accordingly there. I mean, we could kind of move it to the 27th, but then we have back-to-back meetings in June. But if you look ahead to July, we could do second and fourth in both June and July, so we kind of keep it at that every other after that. But I guess I'm looking for, otherwise we can have 2 meetings back-to-back. We're doing that this week and next week as well, so it's not uncommon. But thoughts? I mean, I know if the 3 that will still be here plan to attend that meeting, it might not hurt to be proactive and move that, since we have a national conference in our backyard this year or next year. Thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Move it?
That'd be a good idea.
Leave the rest alone, do you think? Or as you kind of look ahead into June and July? Any thoughts on that? Just leave them kind of how they are and stick with the first and third? And just have a couple back-to-back here at the end of May and beginning of June? Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I will make that change. Otherwise, yeah, like I said, the rest of them do play out pretty well for the rest of 2025. Hobo Day Parade, that invitation was included with my packet. I know there's just a couple of you that will be here. Do you want to do the parade? I need to let them know here by the end of the month. No? No? Okay. Okay. That sounds good there. Other than that, just some upcoming events. As noted this morning, you did receive the information about that pipeline meeting. It is this Thursday, 6:30 at Old Sanctuary, that pipeline informational meeting. Other than that, we kind of go out into October. Hobo Day events on the 12th. Monday, the 14th, county offices are closed. The Prairie Nightingale Fall Social, I think I sent that out to you. We need to RSVP for that. Was anyone wanting me to RSVP for them? Larry? Yes? No? Sean? Yeah? Anybody else? No? No? Okay.
Oh, wait.
And I think department head evaluations, I think they are due to Kristen tomorrow. Did you all receive them from her, first of all? How many of you are going to be able to turn those into Kristen tomorrow? She'll have them. She can take them up until the end of next week, October 4th. So if you want to get those done and get those to her. But she does need some time to compile those into one report, and we'll do those on the 15th. So yeah, if you could get those to her by the end of next week, we'd appreciate that. Do you want me to remind you at about like Tuesday, Wednesday next week? Okay, I can do that too.
Yes, please.
All right, that's all I have, unless you have questions for me.
Any questions? Okay. State's Attorney's Office report. All right, Commissioner Vanderwall.
All right, I'd just like to take a moment before we get started. I've had a couple of concerns. Marty alluded to it on the dusty conditions on these gravel roads, townships and stuff. I just ask everybody to, take a deep breath and slow down. We've got, especially at night with dusty conditions and no wind moving, the dust just literally hangs. If you drove around the section, the dust would still be there when you get back. So know there's a lot of equipment moving around with construction and farming operations, but just everybody needs to slow down. And, you know, if that gravel shortcut is the answer, maybe it's not. Maybe you take the long way around to get from point A to point B and get back on the highway where they need to be. With that, September 3, I attended the zoning board meeting, and then on Thursday, September 19th, went to the annual weed tour. We went to the northeast corner of the county this year. Then later that night, I attended the Aurora Fireman Feed. And then on Saturday, the 21st, I attended the County Republican meeting here in Brookings. And that's my report. Thank you.
Commissioner Bartley.
Ready to get this thing to work here. I got two parts to my report. First one is South Dakota Association of County Commissioners was the 15th to the 18th that I attended. I did put on a seminar on parliamentary procedure, so we got everybody in the state on the same plan as far as Parley Pro is concerned. It was a lot of fun, actually, that meeting. I attended the BEDC on September 19th. They're still moving ahead with all their plans. Everything is a go. There is a community survey out online if you find it through the chamber. That's also being used through the BEDC for future planning, so go ahead and take a look at that. And with that, I have a presentation. You guys know about this? I was at a national meeting that put out some materials. You know, you go through these exhibit halls and everybody's got a thing. Well, there are all kinds of non-elections, and there were a lot of them that said, local government makes democracy work, okay? And I agree with that, I really do. If it wasn't for local government, democracy wouldn't exist. The other one said, this is more important, election officials make democracy work. So what I have in these bags, one for Lori and one for Jenna to pass out to your staff, a hat, think about elections. That's in one of the bags. We've got a banner to hang over your desk. Basically says, my office makes voting happen. If things get a little rough, got some sunglasses you can wear that say on the side, Center for Tech and Active Life, thank those guys. And if you can't stop dreaming about elections, we have some night masks that say, I'm dreaming about elections. So with that, let's see, what else is in there? Oh, I think Stacy picked one of these up too. It's Certified Election Hero. It's a little fanny pack, isn't it? I didn't unwrap it to see what it was. So I'd like to present these both to Jenna and Lori, and you can go through the bags and decide what you want to keep, what you don't want to keep. We thank you both and your staff for all the work you've done on elections. You just got started, you got a ways to go yet. Expect to see you wearing hats. That's the end of my report. Thank you.
Commissioner Krogman.
I have nothing, actually. I didn't have anything going on. I have a couple of committee meetings coming, and I wasn't able to make it to the state convention. So.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Hostler.
On September 4th, I attended a courthouse meeting over at the county courthouse, wrapping up some of the construction and some of the concerns over there. And then on the 17th through the 18th, attended the South Dakota Association of County Commissioners meeting on Rapid. A lot of great information and presenters out there, to include Commissioner Bartley with his presentation. And that is my report.
Okay, thank you. On the 10th, I attended the quarterly strategic planning meeting from the school district. Good reports on the 2 schools that were built. The contractors did a good job and in timely fashion to get school started. From President Dunn, we had a report on the enrollment at SDSU. It continues to go up and it's looking good on that aspect. On the 12th, I attended a pandemic planning meeting. We'll be holding, like Bob or Mr. Hill said, we'll be holding a flu vaccination clinic at the high school October 28th. And then we did have a report from the health report from the hospital and the SDSU, and there's a lot of sickness going around, and they just recommend and make sure you wash your hands and cover your cough and et cetera. From the 17th to 18th, I attended the Fall Convention Rapid. Like Commissioner said, there were some very good meetings. A couple of them that stood out, the road classification and maintenance meeting, Doug Kinnenbraw and Larry Dean presented to out there. Going through that, there was a lot of questions by commissioners, and later in the day, Larry Dean commented that Doug and him are working on a pamphlet or a handout for commissioners. It would be similar to what the highway superintendent's certification class is, in kind of a condensed form, so kind of give commissioners idea what's all involved with highway matters, from building to your responsibilities and everything. I think it'd be a good deal to hand out to commissioners. We attended a civility at work class. Commissioner Bartley did a very good job on the parliamentary procedure. He only had 45 minutes or an hour there. A lot of questions by a lot of different counties in the state. Some recommended handout was this handout here. It's basically the right way to run a meeting, and Commissioner Bartley had a lot of questions from a lot of other commissioners. I attended a Veterans Affairs meeting that was very informational also. And then that was kind of wrapped up out there. On the 19th, I attended the Aurora Firemen's Appreciation Supper over in Aurora. And that would wrap up my report. Moving on to item number 12 is executive session in accordance with South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2, parentheses 1, 4, and 6, personnel, contract negotiations, and security. Do I have a motion to enter into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We'll be in executive session after a brief recess.